over here at the Vitamix stand, so come on, and I have some of my leftover Mind Bender sorbets. It's an apple sorbet, and it's colored orange, and that's why I call it the Mind Bender, because it kind of looks like an orange or a melon sorbet, but it actually tastes like apple.
I'll have to try that.
All right.
I've got one of those Vitamix.
Right on. How long have you had your Vitamix?
It's like one of those things. No.
You know how you do that? Here's a secret. This is what I do at my house. I have a tray kind of like this one. I have my Vitamix like this, and every time I use my Vitamix, I'm going to wash it, right? And so, consequently, I want to drain it, so I put it right there, put it like that, put it under the counter, and it's always there when I need it. I really use my Vitamix at least once a day, sometimes twice a day, sometimes 4 or 5 times a day, really.
You're fine.
It has carrots in it, and that gives it the orange color in there. That's kind of one of the fun things you can do if you have kids or grandkids, to get them to eat their fruits and vegetables. Right, right. Well, I'm glad you're using it. Pardon? Yeah, I turn it like this, put it like that, and you know, the biggest complaint people have is that it doesn't fit underneath the counter. That's how we fit it under ours, because our counters are only about this tall. Yeah, and that way it's there, and consequently, it's probably the most used appliance in the house. Seriously. Now, if we had an electric toothbrush, it might be change the plans with it. Right now, it's the most used appliance in the house. Oh no, you know, I don't have to worry about that. I don't have anything up there, so. Okay, so I'm making tortilla soup. Have you ever seen the soup made? It's really tasty. It's also called Musco soup. The reason we call it Musco soup is you go to your refrigerator and you look inside. If you have anything that's about to grow legs and fall out on its own, you have to put it in the soup. Let's go in the soup. Hopefully you get it before that point, but things like the tops of pizzas, tacos, egg rolls, corned beans, ham, spam, peas, tacos, taco meat, roast veal, chicken, turkey, whatever you have in there. Okay, I'm going to put some carrots, tomatoes, celery, onion, and garlic. And when I peel this onion, if you want to put the skin in there, you can. I take that off just to clean it. But the garlic's another story. So, yeah, apples, carrots, and banana. Put a banana in there too. So this garlic, you can actually put it in there. The whole garlic clove, that's going to be garlicky too, that's a big one. Paper and all, and the Vitamix is so fast it's actually going to liquefy the paper and the garlic. Now, the name of the soup is tortilla soup. I'm going to put some tortilla chips in here. This will thicken it up and make it nice and creamy and smooth, but also give it the tortilla flavor as well. And lastly, I guess not quite lastly, I'm going to put in some water, about 4 cups, like that. I'm going to put in some better than bouillon, chicken bouillon. You know what they call this better than bouillon? Because it's better than bouillon. I do too. It's lower sodium, no MSG. It's really good. I used it the other night in one of the recipes in the book. I kind of modified it, and I use it for my fettuccine alfredo. We just asked for garlic in there, and I want a little bit more flavor. This is a sorbet here. It's an apple sorbet. It looks like an apple sorbet, doesn't it? No. Yes. Want a spoon? That's good. Thank you. Yeah, this is, and you notice how smooth that ice is. This is tortilla soup, and if you never had it, stick around because this is worthwhile. Okay, just put some tortilla soup. Okay, so I put some Southwest spice in there. Yeah. Yeah, now this actually, the new Vitamix 6300 has a preset for smoothies, ice creams, and soups. And I'm going to turn on the soup preset. What happens, it turns up slow, so if you have a big old piece of Hubbard squash that you're making squash soup out of, that'll give you time to use a tamper stick and jam it down on the blade like that. And then it's going to speed up the high by itself. The preset for soup is it's kind of a funny setting. It's going to assume you're using cool hot water and room temperature ingredients, and it's going to go for about 6 minutes. And that time, it's going to bring it up to a piping hot temperature, but not so hot that it starts to cook the vegetables. So it's called a raw soup temperature, about 120 degrees. That's the point when the enzymes start to denature and the nutrients start to be deteriorated because of the heat. So we're going to keep it there. Now I cheated and I put hot water in there, and so I'm just going to run this for about 2 minutes. Now the shrimp, we're using about 100,000 different restaurants and food establishments now. We're also using about 80% of your smoothie stores and 90% of the coffee stores around the nation. The reason why is because they like the quality of the blend that this gives them. But I was going to say, in the back of restaurants, they have a machine called the Vitamix. It's a Vitamix machine, very similar to this one. This one will do everything that one does, but they use this more for things like soup, sauces, gravies, purees, and things like that. And then in the front of the restaurant, they have one called the Vitamix, or the Drink Master. And that's go the other direction, so you can use it for daiquiris, margaritas, mud slice, milkshakes, and things like that. But this one does all that. That'll be good. Okay, since I started with the hot water, I'm going to go ahead and turn this down now to about 200 or 400 RPMs rather. This is the fastest blender on the planet, but it's also the slowest. So right now that blade's going around at about 11 miles an hour. That's just fast enough to stir in some leftovers from a minute ago, some corn, some beans. But no, this is when you take a trip to the refrigerator and you see what you had for dinner last night that'll fit into your soup. So it tops up pizzas, tacos, egg rolls, corn, beans, ham, spam, whatever you have. Now's the time to add it. And voila, there's my soup. Now this is called Musco soup, tortilla soup, and I also call it my extraordinary soup with ordinary ingredients. And what I put in here, if you think about it, is things that most people have in their fridge on an everyday basis. So onions, garlic, tomato, celery, some kind of a taco spice. We have this Southwest spice that we sell here. Some kind of a bouillon. You can use chicken bouillon, beef bouillon, or vegetable bouillon. And tortilla chips, and you got yourself a soup. One of my favorite soups isn't this one at all. It's a potato soup that I make at home. And it's super easy to make. You boil kale or broccoli on the stove in 3 cups of liquid, and usually I'll use water and milk. Then once it's tender, I pour the water and milk in here. I throw the baked potato, which has been going in the microwave, in here. Put a slice of onion and garlic, some bouillon of some sort, and I run that on high for about a minute. It makes it like liquid velvet. Kale like this stuff here. Yeah, or it's some kind of cruciferous that doesn't go well in smoothies and so forth. You like that?
That's kind of drink.
Those are drinks.
Yeah, crock-pot. This is an all-day project, right?
Do you want to try one?
So what this isn't fast food, but it is food fast. That's tortilla soup, and that's my mind bender sorbet.
Hey, Mommy, what's that?
Okay, so this is my main course. I'm going to be making a dessert next. No, actually I'm not. I made the mind bender sorbet, so I'm going to go back to the smoothies and make the healthiest smoothie you've ever had in your life. And the good thing about it is not only the healthiest smoothie, but it also tastes really good too. I call it the Shrek smoothie. So stick around for that too. Now, by the way, the Vitamix here, it ain't a cheap machine. You've probably noticed that, but it's not a cheap machine either. So it's $4.99. Comes with this fantastic cookbook here with about 420 great recipes in it. There's a DVD that comes along with it that's fantastic, and it also comes with a 7-year top-to-bottom warranty. That warranty is great because if anything happens, they're out of pocket nothing. They'll pay for shipping back and forth, so you don't have to worry about that either. Okay, I'm going to be making a Shrek smoothie. Alrighty, okay, thanks for stopping by. So for my Shrek smoothie, I'm going to start out with a half of a banana, like this. To that, I'm going to add 1 orange, and these are Valencia oranges. Oranges are a great source of vitamin C, but they're also a good source of calcium. And most of that is found right underneath the zest of the orange and the white part. Now these are Valencias, so they're really, really thin-skinned, and I have a hard time doing this, but I'm trying to keep as much of the white part on as I can. That's where the vitamins and the vitamin C and the calcium is. It's also a good source of bioflavonoids to keep your veins and arteries flexible, and pectin, which is a soluble fiber which is instrumental in lowering your cholesterol. Is that the sorbet over there?
It's the orange one.
Yeah, isn't that tasty? That's my tortilla soup. You're going to enjoy that. Yeah. She's smiling. She says, all right, I'm going to buy a vitamin. Okay, I'm going to put some pineapple in here. And pineapple, if you're a kid, pineapple's brain food. For us adults, the core of the pineapple has bromelain in it, which is a natural anti-inflammatory. Do you love pineapple?
Show you guys.
Okay, and put the pineapple in there, the banana, pineapple, orange. This is going green, so I'm putting some spinach in, which happens to be number 4 on the nutrient density chart. Put about a salad's worth of that in. And I actually bought some kale, which happens to be number 1 on the nutrient density chart. And what these two share in common are vitamins A, B, C, and K. Things for your eyes and your skin, like lutein and zeaxanthin. Also going to sweeten it up. Has folate, folic acid, iron, potassium, and manganese, like bananas. So it really is like putting a multivitamin in your smoothie in the morning. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to put in I'm going to put in a little bit of citrus, and this is going to cover any grassy or bitter taste that you have from your drink. So that's going to dominate the flavor there, and then some ice. Yeah, and that's a really strong flavor. Normally, I'll go with lime, and it has a really pleasant flavor. This might give it a little bit of a bitter taste. More of an adult taste, right? Okay, and then we're ready to go. So what I like about the lemon with the peel on it, it's a strong flavor, so it's going to cover the grassy taste of the kale and the spinach. Okay. Right? Now, this one is a brand new 6300, and so there's a couple new features on it that the 5200 did not have. One of them is a pulse switch, which comes in really handy if you make a salsa. Sure, I'll make some ice cream after this. How's that?
Well, I don't understand how you can do both at the same time.
It's one of those miracles of nature, you know. No, actually, what this does is heats things up. The reason we can make hot things is because the friction of the blade heats the food up. And the reason we can make cold things is because we start with frozen ingredients to begin with. And it actually breaks them down. So for a while, with the increased surface area of the frozen stuff, it'll actually get colder. And then if you catch it up for more than a minute or so, it starts going the other direction. So if you're making ice cream, if you leave it on for 10 minutes, you're going to have boiling hot ice cream.
And my brother has really stuff.
Yeah. It's really good, but be careful, it has vegetables in it, okay? Alright. Okay, I'm going to turn this, it has a pulse feature, but it also has 3 presets on it now for smoothies, ice creams, and soups. So we have the variable speed that goes all the way from 400 RPM there up to 26,000 RPM. That's for maximum creativity, and then we have a preset for smoothies, which is really handy. It starts out slow like that, and that's going to give you a chance to shove all your fruits and vegetables down to the bottom. So if you have a big old piece of pineapple that's holding everything else, use a tamper stick, and then it's going to speed up by itself to 26,000 RPM. What's that? So this is actually going to be a smoothie, and then I'll make ice cream after this to show you how that works. You need seconds? So right now that's going at 26,000 RPM. If you were to take that blade off and put it on the floor, it'd be going down the aisle at 240 miles an hour. So that's fast enough to liquefy everything in here. Nothing's going to stand in its way. So you're going to take those cells, break them down to the cellular level, rupture the cell wall. So that's how we're going to get maximum nutrition out of all the nutrients that we have in there.
Don't put your fingers on it.
What's that?
Don't put your fingers on it.
That's called finger food. You know, if you put your whole hand in there, that's called a handshake. I know. Hey, that's good. I like that. Have you done that? I'll learn how to do that because I tell some really pretty sick jokes around here, so that comes in handy. All right, so this is I call it the Shrek smoothie, but it was actually Popeye that gave me this recipe. It's banana, pineapple, orange, lime, spinach, and some kale in it. Then you love it. Yeah, you'll love it. I actually, no, seriously, I made this recipe in California one time, and it was at a Air Force, or the Army base rather. Two girls from Jamba Juice came by and they had this. They said, man, this is better than what we made at Jamba Juice. What that's put in it? They thought they were outside and good over there. So this is really a tasty recipe, even though it's super healthy for you. Those of you have the greener version, this might change your mind. Give it a try. Yeah, I know. Some people kind of go heavy on the kale, a little light on the fruit, right? Yeah.
With spinach and... Yeah, but he put very well.
That's reasonable, right? All right. Well, stick around. I'm going to be making some ice cream next. I got it kind of out of order. Usually I make the ice cream after the that stuff. This is going to be what I call a margarita sorbet. It's basically a lime sorbet. It's really tasty.
You need to try one.
That's how you do the dishes on the Vitamix. Put about 2 cups of water in them and drop a dish soap. Turn it on high for just a few seconds like that, and you've done your dishes. If you do that every time and you teach your kids to do the same thing, then it'll be on the sink board for the next person, and you'll use your Vitamix not just once for breakfast, but several times a day. All right, feel free to have seconds, folks, on that. Now they're going to feel especially healthy. You know, 2 doses of that. Now that there, what you have is the dry blade. That one there is specifically for making anything that comes out powdery. We also have a smaller version of the wet blade, and this is just a small, really nice for portion control if you're living alone, doing a smoothie for one. These are $89. This is $99, and it comes with a separate cookbook that shows you how to do grinding up grain and making breads and so forth. Yeah, it actually comes just like this. All right, so ice cream. This is a fun recipe. I call it a margarita sorbet. I'm going to put about a half a cup of white grape juice concentrate. Okay. Now, I'm sorry, this is kind of cheater juice because it has fructose added. I tried to look for the real stuff, and I missed it by a shelf. And there's just my mistake, but it's still tastes good. It's going to be pretty limey. I'm going to put a half a lime in here. And lime has, the skin on the lime is almost like leather. It's really tough. I'm going to put that in there and put a banana in there, and I'm going to let it run for about 15 to 20 seconds to kind of beat up the lime skin. Like so. All right. So you can hear the blade slapping against the lime skin. There's nothing much that the Vitamix isn't going to blend up. I actually talked to a guy in Twin Falls when I was doing the show down there. He came across, I saw him twice at 2 different shows, and he came across and said, I bet I've done something with my Vitamix you've never heard anybody else do. I said, well, what's that? And he said, well, I made gunpowder. I said, well, I bet your wife was happy. But anyway, the next show, he didn't recognize me. I guess he didn't remember I'd been to the previous show. He said, I bet I've done something with my Vitamix that no one else has ever done. I said, what did you make, gunpowder? Oh yeah, that's what I did. So, it's funny. Alright, so I'm going to put enough ice in here to fill in on the blender. About 5 cups or so, or 4 cups rather. The ice gets softer towards the end of the day. I think what he was doing is grinding charcoal down was a part of the gunpowder. I think that's yeah. Anyway, well, I don't know, it's probably like a black powder guy or something like that, you know. Anyway, this has 3 presets. One of those presets is for frozen foods, one is for smoothies, and one is for soup. I'm going to turn on that second preset there. Torch out slow. That'll give you a chance to make kind of a slurry, and it doesn't look a whole lot like ice cream or a sorbet yet. But what's happening is that ice is getting ground into smaller and smaller chunks. And so, because of the increased surface area, the ice is actually getting colder in there. Now, as you guess, this only works for a while. This only works for about a minute. So the nice thing about having the preset is before it starts heating it up and going the other direction, it's going to shut off. That little blue light on the front, when it starts flashing, that's the indication that it's got the stuff. It's got down. Could I? Yeah, you can put strawberries. A lot of times, in fact, I just forgot this time, I put about this much spinach, and that's just for food coloring. And so you can put anything you want in here. If you wanted to make this a fruit